ألو، ألو، وعليكم السلام، أهلا وسهلا، كيف الحال؟ مرحبا. أنت المهتدي، بياتنا متصل، أنا كنت مسجل اسمي ياسين معي، أنا وين؟ قالت أقفل أتصل عليك في الراوند ده.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear us. For now, we are in the room. We will start the conference. Thank you so much for being here. We had a bit of technical problems. We didn't have technical problems. We wanted to make sure that we will not have technical problems. I would kindly ask everyone that has nothing to say for now to turn off the microphone because it's a bit. Suleiman, please turn off your. If not, I will do it. Okay. All right. So I will mute everybody that for now we will start the conference. The conference, it's an information conference. We are very happy to also have our colleague here who is working in the commission. I will make the introduction afterwards. And so a colleague who is also working in the mediation service in EAS. So I will start the conference now. My name is Monica Dimitriou. I am working in EAS. I'm an information communication officer. I am also a trainer and a coach. I'm a member of the coaches network within the EAS. And I have also specialization in coaching and transactional analysis. This is why we are making this conference today with this topic. I have here my amazing colleague, Andrea Hâncu. She is a therapist and she's also a psychologist. She's working in the European Commission. She has worked with the chief confidential counselor. She has given trainings to the confidential counselors within the Commission and within agencies. And we also have in the room our colleague from the mediation service, Anna Karin. So very happy to have you here. Thank you for coming to this conference. I will try to share my screen and see the presentation. For now, just an administrative aspect. I would like to ask you to just for you to know that we will make the presentation and afterwards we will take questions. And if we don't manage to ask or to answer all the questions, we will please, I will give you an email address where you can contact us. Also, if you if you write questions in the chat, I will not be able to see them because I am alone from EAS here. So, and I'm sharing the screen. I will not be able to see the questions, but I highly encourage you to ask questions when it will be the time for questions. And also administrative, only to tell you that we will record only the presentation, okay? The questions and everything that we will discuss afterwards, we will not record this. We will stop the recording. Just for you to know, you are safe here. And I would like to ask my colleague to introduce herself and to start the presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to be with you and Monica. from Generation 2004 here today. And a few words about me. I'm passionate by this field. I'm very much interested in solving this issue of harassment in our institution. And I'm collaborating with the Chief Confidential Counselor and the Confidential Counselor Network in the Commission. I'm not part of the department. I'm only intervening in the psychological aspects of the harassment. So I'm not a lawyer, but today I will introduce you to some important aspect of the harassment that I consider useful for our daily work. So, as you know, harassment is very damaging. It's an important, sensitive topic, and it is worthy to be discussed. On the 6th of February, it was published a memorandum of understanding between the European Commission and the EAS, which harmonizes the harassment policy towards the same standards. To me, it's a very important step, a big step that really deserves to be celebrated because it will be a life-changing for all the colleagues in EAS and also in general in our institutions. I hope that all this information will be useful to you. When we speak about harassment, is nothing else than any type of violence against a colleague that harms their physical and mental health as well as their working environments. The harasser's acts have the intention to dominate and to intimidate the other part, creating an intimidating, humiliating, toxic, and threatening environment. So people are invaded organically, viscerally by the fear.
Yapıyorum canım şimdi.
When we speak about harassment,
Bastım
we have
yani
three
gidiyor,
important
gitti.
conditions that must be met. Without these conditions together, we don't speak about harassment. We speak about conflict at the office, work conflicts, but not harassment. Harassment
Gizemciğim.
Everything's okay? Yeah. Harassment has to be intentional. Harassment has to be repetitive to happen in a recurrent manner with a certain frequency. It has to be intentional, so the harasser has a conscious to do harm, to produce damage on the other, and to be done on a prolonged period of time. So not 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. It has to be done during weeks, months, sometimes even years in some severe cases. In the working environment, we have horizontal harassment between colleagues. We have top-down harassment when a manager creates the situation towards a subordinate, towards another colleague in his team or her team. And down top, it's rarely, but it happens when people make it happen together against a manager. So a group of people against one manager. We meet in our institution psychological harassment, which is the most frequent. 3 cases on 4 are actually psychological harassment. And when we speak about psychological harassment, we speak about verbal abuse, intimidation, isolation, social exclusion. For example, we don't invite a colleague to a social event. We don't invite him to important meetings. He's out of the loop of information. He receives unimportant tasks regarding his portfolio, regarding his job descriptions, or they are given tasks that are beyond their background or their job descriptions, or the head of department doesn't give him the necessary resources to do accordingly their tasks. The gaslighting and undermining professional credibility, yeah, criticizing them in public, on a recurrent manner in meetings, for example. And we have the sexual harassment, which is only 25% of the cases, which can be any unwanted comment, behavior of a sexual connotation. Yeah, for example, persistent requests when the person explicitly says no, or manifest the discomfort in that situation, or all the discussions are sexualized with a sexual connotation, or they rubs their body towards against the other, or they use unwanted nicknames like honey, my love, sweetheart, that are totally unbecoming, inappropriate words to be used in a working environment. So you have to understand that last year the confidential counselor dealt with 400 informal complaints in the European Commission, 300 of psychological harassment, and 100 of sexual harassment. It's a huge number, and only the cases that were declared. Yeah, we don't speak about those that weren't, those colleagues that didn't manifest themselves and found other solutions to their situations. So this number to me was alarming, and it showed me the importance of this topic, that in a certain manner it's still disconsidered and not considered at its level of importance, but step by step we go towards that. Yeah, it's not a fatality, but it's something to be improved in the future years. So yes,
If I may
Yeah.
intervene here, I want to underline that within the European Commission, we have the Chief Confidential Counselor who is coordinating the network of confidential counselors, and the mediation service is separate, in fact, of the harassment aspect. Meanwhile, in EAS, mediation service is also dealing with harassment cases. And
We
also,
have the confidential counselors as well.
yes, we have the confidential counselors network as well, but mediation service is also dealing not only with the conflict at work but also harassment, right? So meanwhile, in the commission, they are now separated, which I think it's something that it will probably be the same taken by the EES. We will see. But I wanted to underline this, that in EES it's a bit different. Also, what I want to underline, probably Andrea will also mention this, that in delegations, either there are the EAS staff or the commission staff, they all have to contact the mediation service of EAS. So even if they don't go to the, or even you colleagues, if you go to the chief confidential counselor, the procedural is that you have to address first the mediation service within EAS.
Yeah.
And
You will be directed anyhow towards EAS, but you can contact the Chief Confidential Counselor of European Commission, and she will guide you. I can tell you that the Chief Confidential Counsel and the Confidential Counsel Network, it's part of the informal procedures. We have two types of procedures regarding the harassment. We have the informal procedures and the formal procedure. And all what we do at the level of confidential counselors, it's part only of the informal procedure, which happens all the time before the formal procedure. So the formal procedure might be the next steps, but it's not compulsory. Yeah, and I can tell you that collaborating directly with Mrs. Nesseger, this department is in the good hands, and it's really the topic of harassment is more and more taken seriously into consideration, and she's a person that really does the best, and she's incredibly dedicated to it. And do not hesitate to contact her as well in case of need, because she's really there to hear, to listen, and to do the best. She's independent of the director in human resources. It's part of the human resources department, but she's directly subordinated to the commissioner. So this is an extraordinary thing, because there is now a conflict practically of interest with the HR departments in the subordination of the director general in HR. As well, the colleagues in the confidential counselors network, as I train them personally, I know them personally, are people that really are there to help, and they do also the best they can. They are very keen to help, so do not hesitate, because sometimes when we speak about confidential counsel network, it's something huge, something impressive. No, do not hesitate. Go. The more people express their problems institutionally, the more this topic will be considered in the future, and it will be in our interest. So this confidential counsel network have some functions. First of all, when you go there, to know that you're in absolutely total confidentiality. Nothing goes out without your agreement. Yeah, you're safe. Nobody will say your name without your agreement. So you can be sure 1000% of it. Going there, you can clarify the situation. They will help you to understand if your case is a harassment case or it's only a conflict at work. Yeah, and all the conditions of a harassment situation are under Article 12A in our staff regulations. So going out of the room, you know I'm harassed, potentially or not. They do not say that you are harassed or you are not harassed, but they help you decide what happens in your life. And you will explore with them the options that are possible to you. For example, you can decide that only the informal procedure is enough, and you had what you needed, and you can solve the problems yourself afterwards. You can decide to leave the department because it's the best for you. You don't want to see them anymore. It's enough, and you found another job. Or you say it's serious, I can't leave it like this, and you file a complaint. But it's your decision. They are there only to clarify your situation and to explore together with you what is best for you. And also, they guide you through the Commission's complex bureaucracy. Because sometimes you need psychological support, sometimes you need to be in contact with a medical service, or sometimes you need to address to a department in HR for different reasons. And the last but not the least, we human beings, we co-regulate when we have in front of us balanced, calm, self-confident person. We'll start in return mirroring the same feelings, and our emotions will calm down, and our cognition, our thinking will start being active. We won't be drawn by emotion. We won't be overwhelmed by the emotions anymore, because it starts having more oxygen and more clarity. And in this way, so it's not something that it's not to be specified, because that present, that emotional support is incredibly important. And what I saw from the colleagues that asked for help, this is a conclusion.
Thank you very much, and Andrea. We will have her intervention later on. Do you want to add something at this stage about the mediation service within EAS?
If you don't mind, yes, thank
please.
you.
Yes.
Maybe just to say that, thank you. First of all, I'm super happy to see that so many people are here, and super happy that you're organizing this, because indeed, we we all work and strive towards zero harassment in the house, and the more information we have, the better it is. In the EAS, we work very closely with the chief confidential counselor in the commission. The difference is that here in the EAS we cover all colleagues in delegations, and this is part of the one delegation approach. In other words, yes, I see your question. You can come back to it afterwards. We cover all colleagues in delegation and all EAS here at headquarters. This means that if somebody is in a delegation, they're always welcome to contact us. Were they to contact the CCC, she will indeed refer to us. So there is no problem, so to say. We do work in the same way on anti-harassment situations. We also have the possibility to do what the CCC does, with the difference that we are in one and the same service, as it were. I can be very long, but I don't want to take the time on it. And on statistics, it's very interesting to hear this 25% of sexual harassment. We do have a little bit less of in percentage that comes to us, but maybe to say also that we are very strong on the issue that sexual harassment does not need intent. In other words, if it has the effect on the other person of feeling not at ease, that is also sexual harassment, even if the person didn't mean to harass. And this counts for sexual harassment then, which is, as you also very well said, different from the psychological harassment, which means it has to be over time. Sexual harassment, one time is enough for it to count.
Thank you very much, Anna.
I'll leave it for the moment,
it's very good, and thank you for intervening. Whenever you feel the need to underline something, please do it. It's very welcome, your intervention. We really appreciate. Before I was working within the European Commission, and I have met Lene Nessinger since she was appointed, and what she told me is that when this function was created, this position was created, there were much less cases. But with this new institution of the chief confidential counselor, people, they started to trust more, and therefore in only 1 year she had more than 400 cases.
Yes.
When there were not that many cases in years, okay, which shows that the situation is there. Sometimes, and I'm referring mainly to the psychological aspects, most of the times they start from misunderstandings, from a miscommunication, from a look or something that you said or done without even intent. And then maybe when they are not addressed immediately, they can escalate. And with this, I would like to introduce to you this drama triangle, which is many times within the institutional framework, it can, and it does appear. And this is from the transactional analysis colleagues, when you write messages, just in the chat, just be aware we cannot read here. We will take the questions when we finish the presentation, and then we will stop also the recording, and we will deal with the questions. But before that, we will not be able, technically speaking. And so I would like to present you in very few words, because this is so self-explanatory, this drama triangle, and it was developed by a psychiatrist, Stephen Karpman. And this, in fact, it's about it is at the basis of the conflict. And sometimes we are even switching these roles along interaction in between. There are three actors. There is the victim, there is the prosecutor, and the rescuer. And the prosecutor behaves like the person, let's say the harasser in this case, we can say like that, although I don't want to put a label, but let's, for the sake of the presentation, we will use the harasser. And it's sometimes it's excessive in correcting and controlling colleagues, makes public humiliation or belittling the person, like, oh, you are not capable, you don't know, you are not competent, you never listen. Maybe they isolate or withhold resources, as Andrea mentioned before, and in this, with this behavior, they are really setting people to fail. Then the victim of the harassment act is a person who, at first, from my experience, because I used to deal with these cases, from my experience, at first we start to doubt ourselves. We start to think, oh, maybe, nobody is a saint. We all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. So when you make a mistake, you start to say, oh, I did this mistake. I'm sorry. I will be more attentive, careful next time. And this adds more stress. We are self-blaming. We are saying, oh, I'm always making these kind of mistakes. So, for instance, when I'm organizing a meeting, I don't know exactly the technical aspects, and then you start blaming yourself. You start over pleasing. When you say, okay, I will stay over, I will do over hours, I will try to go to courses, so that or trainings, so that I'm becoming better. You start to say yes all the time, so that you are not upsetting the person, and in the end you will either freeze or feeling powerless. You feel like you are hopeless and helpless. And with this, you are starting to complain to about yourself, to the others, and then you are in a vicious circles. You're just complaining, and you start losing your self-confidence, and you have a worse and worse image about yourself. And if this is not addressed immediately, um, it can be even worse for yourself. This is why I always encourage people, whenever it happens, you just address it. Hey, I heard you saying this, or I saw that you are not happy with my work. Let's talk. Let's clarify things. Okay. Then the rescuer, the savior, the person who wants to intervene for the victim, who wants to do the tasks or to talk with somebody for the person, for this victim, let's say, to intervene to fix the relationship between the victim and the prosecutor or harasser in this case. They are helping out of pity. They put themselves in the third or fourth or I don't know what other place, because they want to save this person, to help them, and they are always like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Let me do this for you. and so on. So these roles sometimes they can switch. For instance, the savior is saying, oh, let me help you, I will do this for you. Then the savior, for instance, I mean the rescuer, can neglect their own work, and then of course they can be persecuted as well. Or the victim can say, oh, you didn't do correctly this work, and because of you I was corrected again by my boss, for instance. So these roles they can switch. Like the victim can become the prosecutor, the harasser. The prosecutor may become also sometimes the victim, the savior, in fact, and the rescuer can become sometimes can attack the victim, or even become the victim, as I gave the example earlier. And I think the cost of this drama triangle that we are playing between us, it's very damaging. It's a real high cost, uh, because first it drains the productivity, in the sense that instead of finding solutions, we only start to blame one another, or to start to defend ourselves, to find reasons to give to others, so that we show that we are not to be blamed. Okay, so we defend ourselves. Then the teams, they spend more time in managing conflicts than delivering what they have to deliver. Also, in it reduces the accountability. In this triangle, everyone reacts, but in fact, nobody takes ownership. Nobody takes the responsibility, and the problems persist, or even they can even escalate, as I mentioned before. Then erodes the trust. In a team, we start not to trust any the other colleagues, because you start to think that everybody, if you are the victim, you start to think, oh, everybody's against me, everybody laughs at me, everybody thinks I'm stupid, and so on. So we are becoming more defensive than collaborative. And then it blocks, of course, the growth. In the end, the victim doesn't develop any skill. Let's be clear. The rescuer, maybe it will get into burnout, and the prosecutor alienate their teams. And in fact, there is a switch. There is a way, and Andrea will explain further from the psychological point of view how this empowerment triangle functions, because this is how we can take responsibility for our lives, in fact. And this is it was invented by David Emerald, and it offers this healthier framework within the institutional place. So the victim becomes the creator, let's say, which means that when you are a victim and you are always accused and blamed, you start to think, okay, what can I do to improve my work? So you focus yourself on solutions, on choices, what you can control, then more on than on things that you cannot control and that they can go wrong. Huh? You take ownership and responsibility, and instead of feeling helpless, you will be focused on action, and you will start putting boundaries, because many times a victim ends in a victimhood because we don't know how to put boundaries. We accept until we cannot anymore, and then it depends on our personalities as well. Then a rescuer, the savior, becomes the coach, meaning instead of me taking all the time the responsibility and take the tasks and do the work, instead of empowering you to do the work, I will now start questioning, I mean, asking questions to you, and support in the sense that guiding. Okay, for instance, if somebody is coming to me as a victim, instead of me saying, oh, I can help you, I can do your work, I can say, hey, you know, if you feel like this, maybe you can go to the mediation service, maybe you can address a confidential counselor. So I guide, I'm not doing the work, and I ask questions. Okay, and instead of helping, I empower. And then the prosecutor, who is becoming a challenger, meaning that we are, in a respectful way, we are holding others accountable. We challenge them to become better, but without insulting or punishing them or belittling or humiliating them. We set up clear expectations and procedures with clear deadline, and we give constructive feedback, talking about the paper and not the person, because sometimes we the challenger, the prosecutor, let's say, starts to let themselves carried away of frustrations, or I don't know what other emotions, and instead of giving a constructive feedback related to the paper work, they give the feedback related to the person. And this is why it's starting all this process. So instead of doing this, instead of blaming, the prosecutor, who is now a challenger, is searching for clarity and accountability. And with this, I would like to invite you all to take 1-2 minutes to reflect a bit. What is your main role in within the working environment? We all have a working role, a preferred role, let's say. It's also about because of our background, because of our experiences, bad or good, it doesn't matter. It's also because of our personalities. So we all have a certain way of behaving at the working place. So think, when somebody blames you, which role do you enter more often? Are you a victim? Are you a prosecutor? Or are you a rescuer? And when you are under pressure or tight deadlines, how do you react? Again, are you a victim? Are you a rescuer? Or are you a prosecutor? Are you starting to put the blame on yourself, like, oh, I never know how to do it, I don't know, people, they don't give me the documents, people, they don't help me, I don't know from where to get the information, I have never been trained, for instance. Or um, are you saying, oh, let me help you, I have been trained, so I can help you organize this meeting, or I can help you drafting this briefing, no problem. Or are you starting to persecute the others, like why you're not giving me the document, why are you always late when delivering me the document? Because of you, I cannot do my work. So think how you react when a colleague asks for your help. Do you guide or you take over? Or when somebody criticizes your work, do you defend yourself? Do you freeze? Do you attack? Blame others? Or ask for clarification? And which role do you occupy most often in your working environment? So I give you 1 minute. Okay, and with all this, I would like to go to the last part, and I would invite Andrea to tell us how we can get out of this drama triangle, and how we can have a better life position in the working environment, and not only. So you have the floor.
Okay. So now we get in more in our inside ourselves, in our psychological profile, and we'll understand the connection between our behavior and what we are inside of us. So actually, Monica explained you this wonderful tool in transactional analysis, the drama triangle, and you see that actually we play psychological games, and we play on this triangle from morning till the evening. And this is a manner to manipulate the environment in order to have our psychological needs met. All of us, we were born with 4 fundamental psychological needs. We have the need to be loved, we have the need to be safe, to feel safe. We have the need to be connected, because we are connected, we belong, and if we belong, we are not rejected, which will ensure our survival. And we need to be significant, to be important. And when these psychological needs weren't met in the childhood, as adults, we play the same patterns as in the childhood in order to have, in a way or another, to meet them. And we don't step randomly into one of these positions. All these roles are actually the behavioral expression of some core beliefs, main beliefs that we form in the childhood, in general between 0 and 6 years old, in our family system, in the environment where we live, in function of the parental figures that we had around us, the parents, the brothers and sisters, the uncles and aunties, the grandparents, and the teachers or other caregivers around us. And these core beliefs about ourselves and about the others, psychologists in transactional analysis call them life positions. And you can see here 4 types of life positions. And I will start with I'm okay, you're okay, which is the ideal position. Actually, it seems that when we are born, babies come on this position, which can turn afterwards into one of the next 3 positions in function of our life experiences and how toxic, how traumatic our environment was, and how, to what extent our psychological needs were met or not met. And actually, this ideal position, it's a win-win position. I win in the contact, in the relationship with you, and you win too. The person doesn't need to have a loser in the relationship in order to feel that he's okay or she's okay. It's a healthy position, it's the assertive position, the person is happy, they trust and they collaborate. Yeah, at the office you see them engaged, open-minded, supportive. The managers will create a trusting, safe, and supportive collaboration. You'll hear them, you can see them easily, because they often say, we can make it. There is a solution and we can make it together. Yeah, they don't need to be the most important or the only one. They can celebrate the others. They are happy for the other because they know their worth, they know their value, They don't need to have a leader in order to be important. Yeah, and they are all the time solution oriented. They give constructive feedback. They don't criticize. They explain in a positive way what it has to be done or how it has to be done. Yeah. So ideally, nobody's all the time in this life position. Yeah. But we have one fundamental position, which is the most representative for our psychological profile, and socially, we can be in function of the situation in one of the other three positions too. Yeah, because each situation triggers in us a different needs which wasn't met, and in function of it, we react, we respond from one position or another. I will get to the left top quadrant, which is I am not okay, you're okay. This is the dependent, depressive position. The person doesn't have solution, doesn't consider that they consider they are not capable. They feel inferior. They are less than the others. The others know, the others do better, but not them. They are anxious and all the time they seek for approval because they don't know who they are. And even they are very competent people, very intelligent, very smart, they constantly might live the imposter syndrome. And this make them feel they're inadequate and they are not important, they don't matter. Yeah, they are passive, they expect from the others for solution and they seek to be rescued. Yeah, they attract in the relationship and they play very much with the persecutors or with the rescuer in function of the context. So you can here see that it's a victim position that you found on the drama triangle. The opposite, it's the position I am okay, you are not okay. So in order to feel okay in the world, they need to consider the others that are not okay. Otherwise, they can't survive. And that's why they project on the others and they are in a constant blame of the others in order to keep their okayness. Actually, this position hides at an unconscious level the position I'm not okay, you're okay. But our brilliant mind finds solutions in order to survive in the environment where we lived. And it was accepted, the behavior that they had as kids when they felt superior, when they were arrogant, when they were aggressive, and it's their favorite position in life as adults too. So in the working environment, you'll see them that they aim very high. They need power, they need to dominate the others, they become managers, but not for the good reasons. Yeah, they are managers, but in general, they are not leaders. They are in persecution, they are in disconsideration, they belittle the others, they humiliate the others, and they take the power on the others, and they take advantage of the weaknesses of the other. They threaten often. Their stance is it's your fault, and they have to be all the time right. So they feel superior in general. What did I add here, the rescuer? Because a rescuer, when it gets in the relationship with his victim, the rescuer considers, I have to help you because you don't know how, because you're not capable. It's not in the same projection and belittling the other verbally, yeah, but unconsciously they consider the other colleague or the other part not good enough to be capable to solve their problems. So it's a very toxic position.
No, colleagues, don't jump on those that they are helping you.
No.
Because,
It's not about that.
Anyhow, it's unconscious. No, I want to make a joke. It's unconscious sometimes, and yes, the people that they want to help, because they think they know. And but it's true that psychologically, Andrea is making a very good point. I was also jumping when somebody told me, "Oh, you are a savior," but in fact, you think you are superior. I'm like, no. Why? I want to help. It's not that I feel I'm superior, but indeed, apparently, the psychological unconsciousness. It's about, oh, I'm better. I know better. It's not that I'm better and I want to humiliate, but I'm better. I know better, so I can help you because I. But it's also from this position, from I'm okay, and you are not okay. So and this is why it's important to be in I'm okay. You are okay. I'm okay. And for me, this was a life-changing moment when I started to think also with my child and in my personal life as well, to think I'm okay, you are okay. And you will see, if you switch this perspective, you will have amazing relationships, and better, I would say, because we don't only play this drama triangle in the professional environment, but we also play it in the personal life. And the exercise, we encourage you to do it earlier in the professional environment. I encourage you to also try to do it also when you are at home with in your personal life, because in personal life it depends with whom we are dealing, and we are getting into this drama triangle also with our partners, with our children, with our parents. They know exactly which buttons to push and to push our life positions. And it depends which life position we unconsciously have taken.
Exactly. And this position, for example, at the office, you can be in I'm okay, you're not okay, but in our couple to be I'm not okay, you are okay, and I need you to rescue me because I'm a little kid, unconsciously, psychologically, and I need you, and without you, I fall. Yeah. So that's why we, like on the drama triangle, we play from different life positions. And I'm not okay, you're not okay. In general, they don't dare to access managerial position because they have this imposter syndrome and they consider they are not good enough. And the success is not available to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not aware of what they are. And if the boss will tell them, oh, you're not competent at all, yeah, if they have a harasser, you know, they will believe it. If they tell you are really stupid, they will believe it because they don't have this strong sense of self, which in opposition, in I'm okay, you're not okay, it's an excess of apparent self-confidence, yeah? They behave like they're the only one. Well, so you see how our dynamics can be different in function of the context of the situation and the moment too, because from one moment to another we can jump. Yeah. And the worst life position, actually, it's in the left corner, in the left quadrant, down left quadrant. It's I'm not okay, you are not okay. It's a mixture of the negative, toxic sides of the two other positions. And it's a position where there is no hope. And we don't have solutions. I am not okay. I know that I'm not capable, but believe me, you're not better than me. Mm-hmm. And even if we work together, and even if you try to make the Europe great or excellent, or we never make it. And they will sabotage themselves and they will sabotage the project too. Because it's a position of
Helplessness.
It's futility. Yeah.
Hopelessness.
Yeah, hopelessness. There is no hope despite all the effort. Why would I spend the energy? Anyhow, I work only with stupid people, and I am stupid enough not to solve the problem too. Yeah. So these people are cynical, are disengaged, and it's very difficult to work with them. I don't say that it's better with I'm okay, you're not okay, but at least these are very applied. I'm okay, you're not okay, are applied, are task oriented, are structured. So it's not that they consider they don't have solutions. The contrary, they have all the solutions. But in this quadrant, they don't have solutions and they don't have hope. And just for your information, like this, it's the position of terrorists, which in its extreme, yeah, we speak about the other extreme. They first commit homicide because the other is not okay, yeah, and it's the root of the problem too. It's part of the root of the problem, and afterwards they commit suicide because they are not okay too, and that's how we get to very young. I'm not okay. You are okay. It's more the suicidal position, and that's why it's very dangerous in harassment. And I wanted to draft a bit about harassment, despite the fact that I'm not a lawyer and I don't work in the department, because this is a life position that it's the most threatened, the most touched, the most sensitive to harassment. Yeah, they in general very empathetic, emotional people, compassionate people, and more sensitive than the others. Yeah, because they're full of emotions. They can be easily overwhelmed. And the harasser screens very well this profile. Yeah, they see when somebody is not sure of his competencies or of himself as a person. And so you can see of that how our psychological profile, how our beliefs develop at a very, very early age in the childhood, but in a very unconscious way, influences our manner to be in the society and with the others. But I can tell you that I saw in my private cabinet a lot of people that transform their life from very toxic position towards I'm okay, you're okay, or they approach very much to this person. There is no fatality. We can change whatever we want in life if we want it. Yeah. So this is my message of hope. And even we are harassed, let's say, it's no fatality. You have to stand for yourself. And this position, I'm not okay, you are okay, do not dare even to defend themselves because they consider it's their fault all the time and or they don't deserve. And this is a position where they withdraw more than showing up or showing off of their strengths. Yeah. So that position is in particular the most sensitive, and myself, if I would be in the confidential counselor or in mediation service, I would pay a particular attention to this profile because they are really at risk. And many people that are harassed, even if they survive in burnout, in medical leave, to avoid the toxicity home, they can have suicidal thoughts because in general they feel alone. Yeah,
Not understood and not helped.
exactly.
And helpless.
Exactly.
That's
That's why these networks, the network of the colleagues in EAS, the network in the Commission is very important because it's a first step towards regulating our nervous system. We are not very much taught about the nervous system, but we have a nervous system which is very much dysregulated in harassment. That's why I insist on it. And you're in incredible good hands with the colleagues in these networks, with Monica, who is in, and I know her very well, and we've collaborated for some years already. She's an excellent coach. She's an excellent defender of the administration. She comes from state administration. So do not hesitate to contact the generation 2000, to contact the colleagues in EAS, to contact no matter who. Yeah, the psychological service. Do not stay alone.
At the very first moment.
Yeah,
Because I can tell you, even people that they have strong self-confidence and they think they are competent, they are qualified, even then, in these kind of situations, if they are always harassed, persecuted, they will stop little by little questioning themselves, and then the self-confidence drops, and then they will also get into burnout, and then it will take some years for these
Exactly.
people to recuperate, to recover. And so at the first moment, don't think, oh, I'm crazy, or maybe it's me, maybe no. Start to clarify. Of course, it would be better, as I said from the beginning, it's most of the time it starts from a miscommunication, from a misunderstanding, from
Exactly.
something that you don't even realize, you don't even pay attention.
Exactly.
You just address it. You address it assertively, nicely. Hey, I saw this, I heard this, I felt this. Nobody can tell you that you didn't feel. Yes, I felt you ridiculized by you. Maybe it's wrong, but this is how I felt. What did you want to say? Just just have this first communication. Communication, it's super
Exactly.
important. And then, of course, if this persists, then it means that there is something there. And we will have other conferences, and we have two more conferences together next month and in April, and we will talk about the games that we play. And according to Eric Bern, who is the founder of Transactional Analysis, in fact, he has a whole book on games that adults play, and we play lots of games, and we based on this triangle and life positions, and we will share with you from the psychological point of view all these games. But sometimes we play these games and we are not aware of these games, but we play them at professional place and also in our private lives, and because of these games we are entering in these situations of harassment. And we know that in EAS it's zero tolerance for harassment, and you have the support. So I'm again very happy that our colleague from the mediation service is here.
If I just may
Anna,
well say
please,
one
yes,
thing.
if you want
Yeah.
to add.
If I see also my colleague Aude raising her hand, but just to say one thing, come earlier rather than later.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
The earlier one can start looking into something. And again, you don't have to give it a name. You don't have to call it harassment. You don't have to call it conflict or inappropriate behavior. If there is something that feels itchy, at least don't stay with it alone. You also said very well, there are also possibilities to reach out to the staff unions and so on. But do remember that we are there. Come earlier rather than later. And also, don't think just because we're called the mediation service that we will force you to sit in the same room as another person. That's not the way we work. We can also speak only with one person, or we can pass messages to the other person, but only if you agree. We never contact anybody except for with the agreement. There is one single exception to that, and that is in real imminent danger for the person. Then we have the right to put aside our
Disclose.
professional secrecy, because then it's the question of life and death, and that's more important.
Which means, thank you, Anna. Which means, in fact, if the person is in danger to harm themselves or to take their life or to, in this situation, it's Anna mentioning. And thank you for this. I think it's really valuable what you are mentioning. And I would like to give the floor to Odd. Odd is also a coach in our coaches network, and she's also working in the mediation service. So, Odd, you have the floor.
Hi, hello, Monica, and thanks for organizing this session. It's very interesting, indeed. And yes, I work in the coordination division of resource management. So not in the mediation service, but we are working very close. And I work on the anti-harassment policy. So I'm very happy to have this session. I really encourage you to maybe co-organize the sessions together in the next time. I think it's very good that we are all actors working on this issue, because indeed we need to have all forces together, because it's a complicated issue, as you also said, from a psychological point of view. So also as a coach, but I put my other hat, it's very interesting to have this angle. And when you talked about this positive positive triangle, one of the thing is action. And so it's really for the victim to take action, and that's really what we already said, that to encourage that, because this is how we can also, as an administration, do something, is when we have really, so as witness, as victim, as managers, whatever your position, as colleagues, to really speak up and to alert the mediation service or the administration of the issue. So because then it really helps us to act. So thank you for that. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Odd. Andrea wants to say something, and then Anna. Yes,
yes. Only one thing. In Belgium, harassment is considered criminal offense.
A crime, yeah.
It's a crime, and it falls under the Belgian Penal Code. And the harasser might be punished by a prison sentence from 2 weeks to 2 years, and or criminal fines. With the reforms in 2026, there is even the possibility of imprisonment up to 3 years, in function of the severity and of the impact on the harassed person. So it's not a minor issue. Harassment is a crime.
Thank you very much. Anna, you want to?
I think there are so many questions.
Yes, let's address the questions now. But Laura, if you want to take the floor, please, Laura Lindoro.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I think there were colleagues before me in the chat, but thank you for this presentation. I will be very short. My question is about past harassment experiences along a long career that has hidden effects on the health, pathologies that manifest in the, after 50, and can be quite wide, can go from beginning of dementia, but can be also decreasing cognitive capacities or whatever. Have you explored this, and how do you respond? What recommendations you give?
You want to say something?
You can do it, or I can do it.
You can do it. This is please.
Thank you very much. I steal the mic here to say that we do have here in the AS psychosocial support. We have a social assistant and a psychiatrist in the medical service who deal a lot with these issues, and who you can contact via their functional mailbox, and that is just as confidential as ours. In other words, there is full professional secrecy, and they can help in many of these situations. I also saw that I see the comments flicking up sometimes, and I saw